lot of time, first-time founders, whenever they decide that they want to start a company, immediately start thinking about all of the technology that they need to build. So they think, I'm going to go find some sort of a web development agency or a friend or whoever, and I need to start building software now. And they'll do this before they've even validated that their idea is a good idea or an idea that people are actually willing to pay for. And this causes a lot of people to burn a lot of money, waste a lot of time building the wrong thing in the wrong way, and ultimately it leads to a failed company before the company even gets started, before they can even generate a dollar's worth of revenue. So I wanted to shoot a video today about a very simple 3-step process for starting a company in a very short amount of time. And this process will guarantee that the business will either be successful or it will fail very, very fast. Both of those things are good things. So this is a very easy process, 3 steps, super simple, and it's something that will cost no money up front. And it's a great way to validate your idea and start generating revenue today. So step 1 of the 3-step process is identifying the market for your idea, right? So if you have a idea of something that you want to build, a software, whatever it is, what you need to do is you need to boil that down into the core pain that you're trying to solve, right? People don't actually care about software. They care about the solutions that that software provides. So what is the solution that you're providing? Well, like at Forecaster, we help founders build great financial models to manage cash flow and help impress investors. So that's really the core value that you're trying to deliver. What you want to do is you want to understand, what is the pain point that I'm solving? What is the thing that ultimately the customer is paying for? Because again, they're paying for a hole, not a drill. They want their pain to be solved. So distill that down. Then you want to see, is there a big enough market that's experiencing this pain? There are a couple of ways that you can do this, but the one that I recommend is just by going online. You can look at search traffic volume for the thing that you're wanting to build. So if you're a forecaster and you're building financial modeling software, you may see, what is the search volume for financial models or projections or budgets or whatever the thing is that you're trying to solve. Is there enough demand? Are there enough people that are asking about the thing that you're trying to solve? So it's really validating, is this a common pain point, right? The reason that you want to do this is if you are focusing on a very, very narrow niche and there's a very small amount of people that are experiencing this pain, and if your price point is also relatively small, it's going to be really, really hard to build a successful venture off of that. So you want to essentially look at, what is the price point that you're anticipating to sell your solution for, and then what is the size of the market experiencing the pain. So if you have a very niche audience, let's say, but your price point is very, very, very large, like let's say the niche is mid-sized businesses and you think that you can charge $100,000 a year for your solution, then you may have a big opportunity. Or if you have a very broad category of people that are experiencing a lot of this pain, then you can afford a much lower price point and then still you can build a big business. So the general rule of thumb, depending on what you're trying to do, if you're going for a venture-backed company, like a big venture scalable company, you want something that could get you to $100 million of annual revenue one day. If it's a smaller company, if it's just you and you're comfortable with something that's just generating a couple $1 million of revenue, then I like to at least find something that could generate $1 million of revenue. And that's just, what is the market size multiplied by what is your price point. So that's step 1, is just kind of validating that the market is big enough. Now, step 2 is you're actually going to go out and sell this thing. So this is really where we flip how most people do it on their heads. They want to, once they uncover a problem, something that they want to do, they want to start building right away, right? They want to jump in, they want to start spending money, they want to start validating whether or not people will buy this with the product itself. But this is not the best way to do it. What you want to do instead is find people, real people that are experiencing this real problem, and ask them for money by delivering the solution in whatever way you can. So in step 1, whenever we talked about getting into the root of what the value is that your software is offering or whatever it is that you're building is offering, you want to see, is there any way I can deliver that value, even if it's manually, even if it's just you going in, doing work in order to solve this problem for that client? You want to see, are these people actually willing to pay? So hit them up on LinkedIn or talk to people that you actually know, real people that are in your real network. There's no need to go out and necessarily find net new people. Just see if you can find people that you know that are experiencing this problem, and then see if they will actually open up their wallet and purchase the solution for you. So using Forecaster as an example, what we might do in that scenario is ask people, would they like for us to build them a financial model app, whatever it is that we want to charge, and we'll do it manually in Excel or whatever it is. We will find a way to deliver that value without having to build a ton of software. And if you get them to pay up front, if they are willing to pay you to have their problem solved, then that's an incredibly good indicator that this is something that you can repeat over and over and over again. The reason that you want to to do this is because really you don't want to spend tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars building a software that ultimately nobody cares about, that nobody is willing to pay to have their pain taken away because maybe the pain's not big enough or maybe you misunderstood the pain. If you do it this way, there is absolutely no doubt that people will pay because they have already paid to have their pain solved. And if you run this process and you do it multiple times and you can solve their pain manually, then this allows you to build up a cash reserve that could ultimately pay for the software to be developed. So that's one way to essentially finance your software development, is just by getting sales up front and doing the thing manually. And if you're looking to raise money, this is great validation for investors. Investors ask for traction all the time. They ask for revenue, and for pre-revenue startups, this can be really challenging. If they say, well, we're building the software, we haven't generated any revenue yet, this is a great way for you to start generating revenue today by solving the problem. And then step 3 comes into actually delivering on the promise. So we already touched on this, but once you have sold the value, then you have to go through and you have to make good on the delivery. And this is where you're really trying to understand how the customer interacts with the solution that you delivered. So if you just solving the problem of financial modeling, for example, like we would at Forecaster, we would deliver that and then we would ask all kinds of questions. So this is like the best way to do customer discovery, is once you've delivered on what you think is going to solve their pain, and see if it's actually solved their pain. And this is where you get all the good stuff. This is where once people have actually paid for something, they have the right to tell you what they really think. Like they'll complain if they don't like certain aspects of your solution, or they'll give you feedback before you've even started building. And this is how you shape what you're ultimately going to build. This is how you learn, is from your actual real customers. And notice that if you run the process in this way, you are not spending any money on software development. You are actually generating revenue from day one, and you will know exactly what to build whenever it comes time to actually open up your wallet and spend money for software development. So there you have it, 3-step framework to start generating revenue today and build a business with very little to no risk. If you liked this video, we definitely appreciate you sharing your thoughts in the comments. If you feel like I glossed over anything, same deal, put them in the comments below. This is how our content gets better. Appreciate you watching. As always, happy forecasting.